Hello guys, welcome back. My name is Nathan, and today we need to talk about the Jack Eichel trade to the Vegas Golden Knights and how this changes everything for the NHL and the Vegas Golden Knights specifically heading into the next few weeks of the season and hopefully the NHL playoffs. Now the Vegas Golden Knights and Buffalo have finally worked out a deal and Jack Eichel is heading to Vegas. We have been waiting for this moment, this day, for a year and a half now, basically. It's been a long time coming, but it is finally here. But the Jack Eichel trade changes a ton for the Vegas Golden Knights and changes their outlook completely on this season. And when it comes to Vegas, there could be a lot more potential moves as well on top of this Jack Eichel trade that we could see in the next few months, and especially during the NHL trade deadline. But when it comes to the Vegas Golden Knights, what does this truly change for them? How much better will they be? And how will Jack Eichel do as a Vegas Golden Knight? And who won the trade between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Buffalo Sabres? Watch till the end for all of my trade opinions and all of the breakdowns on this Jack Eichel trade, and make sure you hit that subscribe button if you are new. 60% of the people that are watching are not subscribed. If you like hockey, this channel is the place to be. So I want to run you through the timeline of my reaction to this trade because you guys know I made a video talking about the Jack Eichel and Matthew Tkachuk swap rumor between the Calgary Flames and the Buffalo Sabres, and I decided to stay up a little bit later that night just to prepare if we did see a Jack Eichel trade to eventually do something about it. So I ended up staying up till about 1:30, 2 a.m. this past day, and I thought, okay, at 2 a.m. at least, okay, trade's not happening tonight. I can go to bed, I'll sleep in a little bit tomorrow. And if a trade does happen tomorrow night, then I can obviously cover it that day and it'll be all good and dandy. Well, I did sleep and I went and slept until 11:30 and thinking I'm all amazing and everything's daisies. And then I wake up, I look at my phone, and the one notification I see is from Jack Eichel saying Vegas, baby, or what, I don't even know what he said. And I was just like, Of course. Well, today we're actually going to be talking about the Jack Eichel trade, even though I'm a little bit late on it, obviously, because of sleep, sadly. We're going to be talking about how this trade affects the Vegas Golden Knights, what my thoughts are on it, and break down every little bit of this trade as well, when it comes to the cap, the players, and everything going back to Buffalo. Now, looking at the trade details themselves, I was honestly shocked how little the Buffalo Sabres got in this trade, especially when we were looking at what the Flames were offering, although that might not be confirmed up to this point, and they might not have gotten Matthew Tkachuk. There was still a lot of firsts and big guys on the board when it came to Calgary's offer, and with Vegas, they end up getting a pretty reasonable option when it comes to trading for Jack Eichel. Now, when it comes to the actual trade details themselves, they're quite complex, but we'll get into them. For the Vegas Golden Knights, they will obviously receive Jack Eichel, which is amazing to finally say, my goodness. Then they also get a 2023 third-round pick on top of it, and going back to the Buffalo Sabres, you got forwards Alex Tuch and Peyton Krebs, and you got a 2022 first-round pick, which is top 10 protected, and a 2023 second-round pick. So something that I think was not really going around until much later when the Sabres confirmed it was that 2022 pick is top 10 protected, and the Vegas Golden Knights are playing a lot better now, but without Alex Tuch and without Peyton Krebs, who knows what they might be at the end of the season. So I think it was very smart decision for the Vegas Golden Knights to top 10 protect that, and I'm honestly surprised the Buffalo Sabres will let them go through with it, but they did get their guy in Peyton Krebs. They did get another great forward in Alex Tuch, who can now play on the NHL roster and be a great part of that Sabres team, and you also get a second round pick in 2023. I don't think it's a horrible trade package, but I do think it was a bit less than some people were expecting, including me, especially again after what we were talking about with that Calgary Flames offer. But I do think Peyton Krebs is going to be a wonderful, awesome, elite forward going in the future for Buffalo if they develop him right. And Alex Tuch is a super underrated guy when he is healthy, especially in the regular season. But you do have a first round pick there and a second round pick in 2023. I think it's okay for Buffalo, but again, compared to what they could have gotten, in my opinion, I feel like there was a little bit of a missed opportunity, although again, it does seem like Matthew Tkachuk wasn't on the table completely for Buffalo. I do think Vegas, honestly, in this situation, gave up for them at least, I feel like they gave up the best they could. This is a team that still hasn't really traded any defensemen, so Nick Hague stays on the roster, and although it definitely will hurt for the forward group that is still missing Mark Stone and Pat Riley to give up to their forwards, I do think the Vegas Golden Knights will be okay eventually once Mark Stone comes back. But this is where we go into the part where Vegas really changes when Jack Eichel comes back. Now, it has been confirmed confirmed that it's a 3 to 5 month waiting period. That's what Kelly McCrimmon is saying when it comes to Jack Eichel. He won't be back until after the Olympic break at this point, which is unfortunate, but it does make sense, especially in Vegas's option. They want to have him healthy, and they don't want to have him in the Olympics, which obviously makes sense for them. But I do think when it comes to Vegas, this changes their whole outlook completely. The one position that we have been going back and forth on with Vegas just time and time again, saying that it's not good enough and needs to be better, especially come playoff time, is the center group. And now you add an elite number one center when healthy in Jack Eichel, who especially alongside Stone and Pacioretty could be one of the best first lines in the entire NHL. Now, the defense might be the biggest problem with this Vegas team right now because, oh my goodness, Pietrangelo and Shea Theodore have been awful on defense. But I do think when it comes to the playoff opportunities and the amount of offense they're going to be able to generate, that's been big problems throughout the Habs series, for instance, throughout other series like the Dallas Stars series in 2020, where they just couldn't get enough from their top end guys. And the center group was a big part of that. They had William Karlsson and Chandler Stevenson as their top two centers. And although those guys can be productive at times, and Chandler Stevenson has been productive so far this season, there's just not that much upside, especially when you ramp up the intensity. And I do think with Jack Eichel, although it would obviously be his first playoffs if he is healthy and the Vegas Golden Knights make it, I do think that type of elite talent on the center group is exactly what's needed. No disrespect to a guy like William Karlsson, but he couldn't be on the elite level, at least since 2018, that Jack Eichel can be on. And especially with Jack Eichel's age, at age 24, he's right in the middle of his prime. And I feel like for the Vegas Golden Knights, slapping him on a line with Mark Stone and Max Pacioretty is just a perfect fit. We've been talking about that potential line for months now, and it is finally a reality in just a few months. Now, one of the main things that I really don't see being talked about in this Jack Eichel trade when it comes to Vegas specifically is that I don't really think they're done making deals this season. Maybe for the next couple months they might be done, but actually I don't even really believe that either, because Vegas is in a really tight position. Even though Stone might be coming back in maybe 2 or 3 weeks, this is still a forward group that has been decimated by injuries and decimated by not having that much great talent. And I feel like for Vegas, the only thing holding them back from more trades on top of this is the cap obviously coming into play. But the Vegas Golden Knights could trade Dadonov and Janmark and free up $7 million, for instance, for another guy that can bring some more depth for them. But they've also lost quite a bit of depth, so maybe that also comes into play. But I do think the Vegas Golden Knights could be pretty enticing come the NHL trade deadline. I don't think they're going to make Jack Eichel trades every single month of the year, but I do think Vegas is in a position where they could do some more, and they still have some really fantastic prospects to give out too. They are not done making deals, and I feel like they know that these next couple of years are their years, and they're going to want to upgrade that forward group as much as humanly possible, which again has been a big problem over the past couple of years when they truly needed it come playoff time. And going back to the trade details themselves, another thing that I don't really see many people talking about is that Vegas didn't give up any centermen in this deal. And unless you count Peyton Krebs, who was playing not really that much center this year, I feel like for Vegas, that's one of the most interesting parts. They keep all their centers, and once Jack Eichel is healthy, that center group is honestly going to be pretty fantastic. It's going to go from weakness to a pretty major strength. You would have Jack Eichel in the first line center, then William Karlsson as the second line C, then you'd have Chandler Stevenson as the third line center, which is, I think, a much better position than having him in the first line role completely, especially in the playoffs. And then you also have Nicholas Waugh in the fourth line center, who's a pretty great player as well to boot. So you have 4 quality centers there that can get the job done in their respective lines, and that's just what Jack Eichel brings. He brings a bigger presence onto that center group. He makes it truly scary, and again, can turn that weakness into a strength. Obviously, the Vegas Golden Knights are losing quite a bit of winger depth, and Alex Tuch will be a pretty huge loss in my opinion, but I do think once Jack Eichel comes back, is fully healthy and hopefully ready to go, if he is back to that 2019, 2018 level, the Vegas Golden Knights will be in love with this trade, and I think they should absolutely be. Once you get guys like Stone and Pacioretty back too, it's just going to be even better for Vegas. I feel like if they can stay around 500 by the time that Jack Eichel comes back, the Golden Knights could be in an extremely good position heading into that trade deadline, heading into that second half, and could have a major winning streak. I feel like for Vegas, though, it'll be very interesting to see how they do in these next couple months. Obviously, now without Alex Tuch and Peyton Krebs, and still without Stone and Pacioretty, it's going to be a very interesting next couple months, but they have played a lot better recently, and we'll see if that continues. But I do think in this trade, personally, I do think both teams get what they wanted. Buffalo Buffalo gets an NHL-ready player in Tuch. They get their guy in Peyton Krebs. They get a first-round pick and a second-round pick. And Vegas gets Jack Eichel. That's exactly what they wanted from day one. And it's just so cathartic to finally have this trade underway and actually official. I mean, that was honestly the biggest emotion I had. I wasn't even like stressed out that I missed it. I was just happy that this trade actually happened and we can stop talking about it. Oh my goodness. The day has come. Jack Eichel is not a Buffalo Sabre, and we're finally past this fiasco. That is honestly honestly one of the happiest I've been for a trade in a long time. And I do think once again for Vegas, this changes everything when it comes to their offensive outlook, their playoff outlook, and again makes them a much more strong NHL team come the playoffs. We'll see what happens if they're able to beat a team like Colorado again, but this gives them a fighting chance when before they were lucky if they could get past guys like Colorado and teams like the Montreal Canadiens. I know saying that is crazy, but at the time, Vegas was just not good enough to do it. Anyways, I'm going to go edit this video, upload this video, and not make any more Jack Eichel trades videos ever again. Yeah. I like that. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Comment down below, what do you guys think of this Jack Eichel trade? Who do you think wins this trade, Buffalo or Vegas? I'd probably say Vegas if Jack Eichel is healthy and ready to go at any point of this season. I'd probably say them, but Buffalo, again, has a pretty good return here. If you did enjoy me, again, hit that like button, subscribe. Make sure you share this video with your friends, get it out there to anybody you guys know, and click on this card right here for all of my hockey trade rumor content right on my playlist. I want to say thank you to everybody that's watched the Jack Eichel videos on the channel over the past year and a half. We made a ton of them, and I appreciate all you guys supporting the channel that way. It's been just it's just been a crazy saga to be covering throughout the last year, and I want to say thank you for everyone that's been on the channel and watched those videos and has been a part of it. Jack Eichel is a Vegas Golden Knight and not a Buffalo Sabre, and it's about time. Thank you so much for watching, boys and girls, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.